Hopefully, we're not witnessing the beginning of World War III. As Russia, after hovering at the borders of Ukraine, eventually invaded the country, the world has been protesting. America and European nations have been imposing sanctions, and Ukraine have been defending themselves against an army that overpowers them. And as much as this is sad to watch, the world will have to brace itself for a backlash of this war. As this is a channel dedicated to Africa, we wonder, how would this affect Africa in the long run? Even though many African leaders are against Russia's actions, you do have some Africans that are in support of Russia. This support is derived from the hypocrisy of the West, but that can be discussed in another video from today. First and foremost, there are Africans in Ukraine and they are directly affected by the invasion as airports are shut down and their home countries have no other way of evacuating them. There are numerous accounts of students being scared for their lives as they have to seek refuge in uncomfortable and possibly unsafe areas while hearing airstrikes and gunshots. There have also been claims of racism as priority is given to the evacuation of Ukrainians over Africans. However, that will be covered in another video. The good news is neighboring countries like Poland are allowing foreign nationals without visas to temporarily seek shelter in their country. Secondly, Russia has all sorts of ties with Africa, many which were forged in the last decade. Russia imports tea from Kenya. Majority of North Africa relies on wheat from Russia. Almost half of all armed weapons being imported to Africa are from Russia, and Russia currently is giving heavy military aid to nations like Mali and Central African Republic. As sanctions are put on Russia, it would affect African nations. All these exchanges will soon become expensive, and it's no stretch to imagine that Russia will be hoping for Africa to be neutral to the invasion. On the other hand, the increase in crude oil per barrel will benefit the oil-producing African nations, but eventually will have an effect on transportation of goods across the continent. South Africa has economical ties to Russia, and though its president has condemned Russia's actions, would it ever be pressured to turn neutral? However, one development that may affect Africa would be China's possible eventual involvement in all of this. As China is an ally to Russia, while developing a budding relationship with Africa, they are a heavy purchaser of crude oil, which would not harm Russia against global sanctions in the short term. And as China has ties with Africa in the form of loans and personnel exchange, could it use this to their advantage in aiming to recruit African nations? So far, almost all of the African leaders have denounced the event going on in Ukraine, but when money and resources are involved, things could possibly change. Once again, this is an unfortunate situation, and my prayers go out to all those directly affected and those defending their country. Anyways, let's discuss this below as everyone has a right to an opinion. What do you think?